Welcome to Go Against Podcast, a podcast about we haven't quite decided yet, but we're going to keep doing it anyway. I'm Colby.
And I'm Leif Erikson. Hinga-dinga-durgan. But you can call me Felix.
Jesus.
Okay,
I don't even know. I don't even know where you pulled that from. Like, why is that it today? Why? Just why?
That was the old SpongeBob episode.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
With
okay.
Bubble Buddy.
I do remember. Good old Bubble Buddy.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of the buddy we all need, like, right now.
I know.
Like,
when you talk about the global
times,
pandemic, you can't not talk about Bubble Buddy.
You can't not talk about the person that always has your back and that supports you no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
She's just good old Bubble Buddy.
It's Bubble Buddy.
I was man, how did you not get that, like, off the bat?
Well, because my brain was like, Leif Erikson is like a historical figure that it's not that he's obscure, it's just that no one talks about him. So I'm like, why would you have Leif Erikson on the brain?
Because I saw a SpongeBob season 1 quote compilation.
Oh, no. I can't believe that's... I mean, I can. Like, my YouTube recommendations are absolutely garbage. There are times where I pull up YouTube on stream and you can see my recommendations and they are just filthy.
Yeah, I think your wife made fun of you for that last time.
Yeah, they did. It was honestly rude, but fair. But yeah, it's just... like, I get served up recommendations for, like... okay, there's an anime that I've watched 2 clips from, and I don't know what it's called because the titles of the clips are like, the orcs underestimated the main character, Peach Boy returns, and I'm like, who the fuck is Peach Boy? Like, there's 2 clips that I've watched from that show where I'm like, I know this is Peach Boy. I don't know anything else though.
Isn't Peach Boy that old Japanese, like, folk, like, hero, quote
Fucking,
unquote?
I have no idea. I just know that the orcs underestimated Peach Boy, and Peach Boy murdered them.
I mean, that sounds about right. I mean, when you underestimate someone, there's nothing you gotta do but get murdered.
The only thing it was missing was the ending title being "Instantly Regrets It," which is all good clickbait YouTube videos end with that. In fact, I'm thinking about uploading like a programming YouTube video that's just like, I made a Cheesecake Factory Twitter robot. I instantly regretted it.
And then you got to put a red circle, like, somewhere on the thumbnail.
Yeah, a red arrow with my face.
Yeah,
like,
red arrow.
I'm doing the Macaulay Culkin face in Home Alone, and there's a red arrow to a cheesecake.
I thought about doing that for the thumbnail I made, but I'm like, no. I'm like, I can't lead with that.
You can, is the thing. Like, YouTube thumbnails, the whole purpose is, like, you're supposed to, stand out on the page at, like, in a sea of other thumbnails. Your thumbnail is supposed to stand out and be readable when it's small on a phone. And so long as you're not promising something that you can't deliver in the video, and sometimes even if you are, it's totally fine.
I guess, like, I could title the screen, the video be like Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy Playthrough 1... ... Wiener may slip out? Question mark?
Gone sexual?
Yeah, gone sexual. That's a weird thing to see in a YouTube, like, title, especially, like, if the topic is, like, so just innocuous and just not, like, you're not expecting it. You're just like I was watching a Drew Gooden video like yesterday. Of him being like, there's this, like, YouTube people that are just, like, make videos, Watch Mojo style, about shows that they completely lie in. They're like 10 Dark Secrets about Good Luck Charlie. And the whole, like, video is them being like, yeah, so this is a rumor that may or may not have happened, but it's kind of weird, right? Oh, and did you know that they're like that the story could have been different. The show could have been different if it was written this way, but that was just a fan theory and not proven. So it's not true.
Honestly, like, it makes me wonder if I made a YouTube video that was just like 6 things I made up about Cowboy Bebop, do you think anyone would click on it?
Oh, dude, yes.
Probably
yes.
no is the thing.
No, dude, yes, people would click on it, and then there'd be the people in the comment section and be like, "What the fuck? Those aren't real.
That's not real. That's not true." Idiot.
And then you have the people commenting back, be like, "Did you read the title?
Jeez.
No, I just saw Spike Spiegel, and of course I clicked it.
I click on anything with Spike in it. I set up a robot to do that for me.
God, what do you watch?
Yeah,
what do you have your robot do?
Yeah, what videos does your robot open for you? Anything that says clearing culvert. That's what I do.
Oh my God! So I was watching a guy talk about this weird videos on YouTube. Mm-hmm. So there's like this real niche market of videos of older middle-aged women, like 30, let's say 35 to 45, just cleaning their house.
Hell
or explaining tools in clear, thin white shirts and not wearing a bra.
Oh.
And they have... You were very excited a little while ago.
To start off with, I was like, this is like pretty wholesome, normal content. Like, hey, if no one's ever taught you like how you're supposed to properly mop, or like, did you know that this is what sponges are supposed to be used for? Here, let's clean a sponge together. It's like, okay, yeah, sweet.
No, so like there's this whole YouTube channel. I don't know their name, but it's a like middle-aged British woman who just talks about like the best tool to, like the best flashlight like on the market, or like the best tools you should keep, or what you should do to like fix your motorcycle. Mm-hmm. The thing is, she's wearing overalls without a shirt.
Hell
and
yeah!
Sometimes get a little pepperoni slip.
Oh, okay. Listen, I am not here to diminish anybody making money in any way they can.
No.
That is 100 good for her. If she's got an audience that is like, yeah, just keep talking about the motorcycle. Maybe move around a little more. Come on.
Oh no,
that's fine. Fuck it. I don't give a shit.
Her comments are creepy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just you have some like, probably it's basically bitch lasagna comments.
Oh, good.
But not like actually that, but like, you know, those type of commenters. Mm-hmm. And just creepy guys like, fast forward to this time and this time for, you know, the action.
Obviously, I'm gonna start this by saying, obviously, this is gross and no one deserved this. But Ben Shapiro's wife posted a picture of her. Her name is Classically Abby. She's on YouTube, and posted a picture of her after a YouTube shoot or something.
Yeah,
and like it showed her. She's pregnant. She's very pregnant. And her bare feet are out. No, not you. Her bare feet are out.
No, I'm saying ew because I know that there are a lot of weird people that are into very pregnant women.
Here's the thing. It wasn't about her being very pregnant. It was about her having her bare feet out. Everybody was like, ooh, come step on me. And it was like, this Ben Shapiro's wife. She's disgusting by association.
Yeah. And the stupid things he says. Mm-hmm. Just, oh my God.
Which, to be fair, she also says some really dumb shit. She's a trad wife, so.
Yeah, no. I understand that, and the whole, like, women have diseases when they, get aroused and moist. Mm-hmm. That is a disease, and that shouldn't happen.
If you need a bucket and a mop, I would say you need to visit a doctor. Like, shut the fuck up. God, he's such a little nudge.
Ben Shapiro's like, yeah, I think that's right. He sounds like a young fucking George Lucas.
George Lucas, yeah, he does. He does. It's just he has the face and the demeanor of like the villain in like an 80s skiing sports drama where it's like my father's going to purchase the mountain and kick you guys off.
I come from the very wealthy Shapiro family, and you'll have to get off my mountain so I can ski alone.
Like I want to push him into a drain. Like that's it. Just push him into a very long drain.
Do you think if he wears like ski clothes, like their 80s style like ski clothes, like the very bright teals and stuff?
Oh yeah.
Do you think he has like a matching yarmulke?
That's like, a good question. Is Ben Shapiro Jewish?
Yeah, he's openly Jewish.
Is he?
Yeah, he's always wearing a yarmulke.
I don't think that's true.
No, yeah, dude, he's Jewish.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
Huh. Weird. Orthodox Judaism. Wow.
Yeah, right?
What?
You learned something new, right?
I did. Wow, Fee, you actually brought something new to my attention.
Hell yeah! Fee's right. Yeah, I'm very much into that YouTube life. I watch a shit ton at work. And it's fun to watch people shit on Ben Shapiro because he's the worst.
He is the worst, correct.
What's funny is what brought me to the attention was a couple of years back. I just randomly saw him popping up everywhere with Jordan
Peterson. Yeah,
they were like popping up. I'm like, okay, well, I'll give him a listen, and then they progressively got crazier.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, especially YouTube loves to do this, and maybe they've corrected it now. But YouTube had like a very obvious pipeline into conservative YouTube media, in which like they would recommend you like the least crazy of those videos, but the longer that you watch, the more radical they got. So it wasn't that like the two of them got more radical over time, which they have, but it's less that and more that YouTube was specifically picking the more palatable things that they have said. And then after you watch one, they're like, oh, well, you're fucking in now. And then they,
now we got you.
They just serve up all the stuff that's like, did you know that, life starts it starts before conception. All the sperm in your balls are alive. And every time you jerk off, you're killing babies. And you're like, what?
Didn't you know lobsters are the species you should strive to be?
Mm-hmm. That's right. You should listen. You got to clean your room, that's where it starts off. You got to have a clean room and a clean mind. Also, if you can't find anybody to fuck by the time you're 30, the government should provide you one. Like, whoa, hang on, let's go back.
I'm so glad you got the lobster reference.
The lobster reference is very good. Because you could pick out so many like weird, crazy things that they've said. The lobster one though is like, that one is one of my favorites because it's also like you hear it initially and you're like, I guess that kind of makes sense. Like,
maybe the way he's explaining it, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, lobsters are cool. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know, man. You're just taking it a bit too. You're taking it over like the it's cool factor.
Okay, do you want to hear something fucking weird that I just found out about lobsters?
What?
Turns out, lobsters can't die of old age.
What?
Yeah.
How long is their lifespan?
It could be. Here's the thing. It could be forever. No, okay. So I'm reading right now because I heard this on the internet, and I'm glad that I looked it up. It is fake.
Okay. You think someone would do that? Just go on the internet and lie.
Just go on the internet and lie. Yeah. So the idea was that like they produce enough like telomerase that like their cells get replaced and don't like die off. They don't have a programmed in like death date. But yeah, it does look like they live a long time though. Male European lobsters live to 31 and females to 54. There are a few exceptions. One female reached 72 years old.
I wonder if they're like wine. Do they taste better with age?
You know,
like
usually,
what if
usually not.
What if like some just rich guy, you know, he's like, oh, would you like to come down to the wine cellar with me and pick out, you know, my best vintage age? And then he's like, also, would you like to pick a vintage lobster? Mm-hmm. He's like, I have a good set of like lobsters in their 40s.
Yes, this lobster is thinking about purchasing a Corvette. Very good age on this one.
This lobster was born at the turning age of World War II.
Mm-hmm. This lobster knew Hitler's name. I'm looking at the like all of this lobster stuff because there's 40 articles here that are like, turns out that lobsters can't live forever. Stupid. I'm like, oh,
okay, so riddle me this.
Okay.
I heard this, and I don't know if it's true, so get ready to Google. I heard that no one knows how eels reproduce.
Let's find out.
I want to know if that's true.
How eels reproduce. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Just give me the verdict. Mostly true? What? It's mostly true that scientists don't know the full reproductive cycle of eels in the wild. The caveat is that, contrary to claims made on social media, they've been observing reproducing in captivity, and their sexual organs have also been observed. So, like, we probably know, but, like, it's hard to track down.
It took us a while. It took us a while, but we figured it out. Oh, my God. Hard pivot. This episode isn't about lobsters and eels and conservative bullshitters. It's actually about a lot of other stuff, and let's get into the lighter topic before we get into the harder topic.
There are many other things that we could go into. Did you know that after after a salmon mate, they start to rot alive? Did you know that?
No way.
Yeah. So they after they go and do the spawn season, they just start rotting alive, and they're all mushy and gross.
Oh,
yeah, so it's terrible.
After they mate, they basically become bananas.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yes.
Oh my God, it's so weird. I know we don't really have a genre or like a niche for our show, but like we always talk about just weird like food or animal like things. I don't find it weird because like I actually like talking about that stuff. It's fun to find out weird stuff. It's just I didn't expect like that to be like our pod. I didn't expect anything from the podcast.
But I certainly didn't expect to know about the zombie salmon. That.
or the nuclear bananas.
Nuclear bananas. Yeah, true.
Yeah, the one we talked about. Remember?
So yes, we wanted to do. You wanted to move on to a nice topic, and I'm telling you about
nothing's nicer than lobsters. But,
about the mushy salmon. Sorry.
Wait, you said it was a lobster.
No, sorry, salmon, not lobster. Salmon.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, even weirder.
It's much grosser. Yes.
I was imagining a lobster. I'm like, oh, it just becomes like hollow and the shell hollows out. Ugh.
Oh, that would be kind of sick. This is even worse because like,
yeah. Oh no, it's a fish.
Yeah, it's a fish. Yeah. And like bears won't even eat them because they're all mushy and taste bad.
Oh, speaking of bears, man, this is an ADHD podcast. Speaking of bears, have you seen that video of like that bear biting that salmon so hard, like it's fucking it not. I don't want to say it comes, but like it shoots out its eggs, like in a big salmon egg explosion.
Wow, that's super gross. That's awesome, though.
He was like, you know what, bear, you're gonna eat me while I'm gonna come in your mouth. Sorry. Oh, it's fucking.
God,
it's
terrible.
It's a very old video. Yeah, it is terrible, but it's funny. God, bears are so weird.
Yeah, they are, and it's like, so in the YouTube videos that I've seen of bears, I kind of get Grizzly Man. You know what I mean? Like Grizzly Man, if you don't know, was a documentary about a guy that like went out and just lived with bears and thought he was like bear's best friend. And the documentary ends with him getting eaten by a fucking bear. Surprise, surprise. And so, but like all these YouTube videos of these, like, you know, these brown bears just hanging out, being cool. You're like, I don't know. Bears probably pretty afraid of us. They probably don't care.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, you forget that bears also run really fucking fast, climb trees really fast, and if a bear wanted to kill you, you'd be dead.
Yeah, people forget that bears are bears, and they will fucking maul you. Like, their claws could rip through you like fucking sheet paper.
Yeah, they're not all cute, like waving at your car or like coming by and smelling your backpack or whatever. It's not all just that. There's also a lot of murder.
Okay, so, like, do you know the difference between what to do if a black bear or a brown bear like attacks you?
Oh God, one of them is you're supposed to lay down and pretend to be dead, and the other one is you're supposed to sprint away at high speeds.
Well, you should run down like an angled hill because bears can't keep like their balance. But
what?
For brown, yeah, that's why they say if you're getting chased by a bear, run down a hill.
Okay, all right, sure. Because they'll fall down like idiots.
Yeah, and I'll be like, "Oh no, bears!
They're so heavy they'll get embarrassed." Oh, dang! You didn't put that on TikTok, did you? Oh, dang! I gotta go.
I gotta get out of here. No. So I think you're supposed to play dead for brown bears, and for black bears, you can fight them. You can fight them off because they're
fight them,
not as vicious. Yeah.
Like, so they just like they walk up and they rear up on you, and you go, "Get the fuck out of here, black bear!" And you kick him in the leg.
Yeah, if you like punch a black bear in the face, it'll be like, oh, fucking just get away.
He goes, "Oh, like, whoa, that's against the rules."
Yeah, I like, you can look it up, and it may be true. It's maybe another Fee is right moment, but I feel like you could fight, like, if a black bear comes up to you, you could fight it, like fight it off. I guess that depends on the person's like strength. Actually, like, not everyone could just fight the bear off, but black bear specifically.
Yeah. Okay. So both grizzlies and black bears can climb trees. Black bears, if you are attacked by a black bear, do not play dead. Try to escape to a secure place, such as a car or building. If escape is not possible, try to fight back using any object available. Concentrate your kicks and blows on the bear's face and muzzle.
I told you! Yeah! You're backed into a corner, you're like, alright, black bear, you fucking asked for this.
Listen, I didn't want to do this to you, but...
Give him a roundhouse kick.
Sweep the bear's leg. Ah!
I'm not trapped out here with you. You're trapped out here with me. Fucking.
Jesus Christ.
Oh shit. So I want to talk about One Piece.
Yeah. Okay. Listen, we're 25 minutes into this podcast, and I bet you didn't think we were going to talk about One Piece, but spoilers for One Piece. Jump ahead I'll allow us 15 minutes to talk about One Piece. Jump ahead to 41 minutes, and we will be done talking about One Piece.
Don't jump ahead. Just listen.
Or, I mean, if you don't want to get spoiled, obviously, jump ahead.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, spoilers, but I mean, why do that? I mean, come on.
Come on, man. Come on, it's 2022. Spoilers are cool now.
Yeah. No, spoilers are never cool. That's why we're warning you. But, I mean, listen anyway. Anyway.
Damn. Spoilers coming up. Listen, spoilers aren't cool, but do listen.
Look, what do you want me to say? Just, come on, it's One Piece. I want to know about One Piece.
So, this week in the manga, chapter 1044 came out. And basically,
boy, it was a doozy.
Yes, it is a doozy. So, if you're uninitiated, if you don't know about One Piece is a story about a boy who eats a fruit, and then now he's made of rubber, and then he recruits a bunch of friends to be his pirate crew, and then he becomes a pirate, and he's looking for this treasure that the king of the pirates left on an island. So he's looking for this treasure, and he's been looking for it for 25 years. In our time, it's only been 2 years in the manga, but it's 2 years and like 6 months or so.
No, because they time jumped
they timed up 2 years. Everything before the time skip happened in 6 months or so.
Okay, yeah. No, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, isn't it? The manga's been going on 25 years. Crazy.
I'm thinking of Fairy Tail. They jumped up like 8 years.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a story for another time.
So, yeah, that's the basic story. And our boy Luffy's got to go through a bunch of stuff to try and get to this treasure. And currently, he is defeating one of the 4 emperors of the sea, the strongest person on the entire planet. He's fighting him, and last chapter in 1043, it did not go well. In the middle of the fight, our boy got distracted by a man, and from the government. The government came by and tried to ice my man Luffy, and so the man that he fought against hit him into the ground, and looked like he died.
Oh, dude, yeah. As soon as that happened, everyone was like, "What the fuck?"
Mm-hmm. Including characters in the manga. People in the manga were like, "No, he can't be dead. He can't be dead."
Yeah, fucking characters like, "I don't sense Luffy," and he's dead.
And then the last panel was like, "No. I think he's okay." And then it showed like like him smiling with some goop around his head. And everybody was like, "What is this goop?" So for a whole week, that's all One Piece YouTube was what's the goop? Why's the goop so important?
Yeah.
And this week, they revealed that I lied to you at the beginning when I said that this boy turned into rubber because he ate a fruit. That's only partially true. He did turn into rubber because he ate a fruit, but he didn't eat the fruit that turns you into rubber. He ate another fruit that turns you into what's effectively Cartoon God. And Cartoon God just happens to also be made of rubber.
So you didn't lie, you just didn't tell the whole truth.
Yeah. So it's fine.
Yeah, he became Rubber Hose 1950s Cartoon God, man.
Mm-hmm. So, you see his body proportions going fucking crazy. He, reaches from the ceiling and grabs this big dragon man who's, his opponent, grabs him and throws him around and starts, spinning him around, and this man's eyes are popping out of his head, and he's
yeah.
you know, in old cartoons when somebody, pulls up a rug and then, throws the rug down and a big thing on the rug goes and whips somebody off. That happened in the manga. That's part of this man's moveset now, is he can just do that.
Yeah, he just bends reality.
Yep. And it only gets more powerful the more that you have an imagination, which is very bad. Because we've set up that this man is extremely goal-driven, very dumb, and comes up with the goofiest ideas. We've established that for 25 years now.
And his hair's like fire now?
Mm-hmm. That's what it looks like in the manga anyway.
It was always a weird thing to me, because Luffy, in the manga, and as he was powering up, eventually he got Red Hawk, which was his punch that would just burst his arm into flames, and it was never explained.
Yep.
And I was like, well, why can he do that? I mean, it makes sense now, but like I was just like, why does he all of a sudden control fire for that one punch only?
Okay, so here's the thing, is like all mangas, there's a couple of things where like you're just kind of suspense of disbelief. You're like, I don't know, it's a manga, it's whatever. And
I just thought it was hockey. I thought it was like a hockey only he used.
Yeah, so here's a fun thing. There are 3 powers, basically, that don't have an explanation. 2 of them got an explanation in Wano. And they're with the monster trio, with Luffy, with Zoro, and Sanji. So those are our 3 basically main characters. Luffy's the main character, and Zoro and Sanji are his like number 2s, effectively.
Yeah.
So Luffy was able to punch and have a bunch of fire come out. Sanji was able to kick and have a bunch of fire come out.
Yes.
So why the fuck is that? No idea.
Yeah, no idea. Well, for Sanji, I didn't know. Because all of a sudden he just started, for a long time he could do it, and I was just like, oh, well, like, maybe he's just spinning fast enough, or like, he's just kicking the air hard enough it ignites his leg. I mean, because the man can fly by kicking hard.
Yeah, he kicks very hard.
He kicks hard and fast, and effectively just flies.
So why did that happen? That also got an explanation in Wano. So we know that Luffy's fire probably comes from eating this fruit, which happens to be the sun god fruit. That's at least what this man was called. He ate a fruit called, every fruit in One Piece is called like whatever
something,
it is twice. So he originally ate the gum fruit. It turns out that it's actually the human fruit, which is very stupid. But it's a mythical fruit with the mythical figure being sun god Nika is the name. So it makes sense. Okay, fire powers makes sense. This sun god person must have had some fire powers and also been rubber wild.
Yeah, crazy.
Crazy. Wow. So
continue.
And this happened recently as well. In Sanji's fight against Queen was like, do you ever wonder why you like can use fire? And Sanji's like, no. Sanji's like, no, shut up.
Sanji answer. No, I don't give a shit.
Fuck up, Queen. Queen's like, ooh.
Fucking die, Queen.
So that was answered as well. The one last power that hasn't been answered, which is also kind of bonkers and weird, is Zoro can do Asura, which is where he just triples all of his arms and swords.
And heads.
And heads. So it's like, at the time you're like, oh yeah, he's probably just moving so fast that it looks like there's more of them. But like,
that's what I thought. I was like,
so it's probably it. Fast. But what if it's not, is the thing. As soon as a manga is like, you didn't question this, did you? And now I'm going to give you an explanation. Now it's like, well, now I got to go back and question everything. Fucking thanks. Why can he do that?
Yeah, like, Zoro's badass enough already, but like, he has 9 arms, 3 heads, and 9 swords. And he's only used it once.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it's weird that he's never used it again. But also, it's weird that he was able to do it just randomly.
Mm-hmm.
Just
that is one of those things where it's like, hey, excuse, can we go back? Can we go back to that?
Yeah.
'Cause, like, come on.
I'm like, I wonder if, like, the crew, they're like, you never do that thing again. Like, why not? Just,
Yeah,
like,
hey, why not?
That's just what you got to question yourself when you're faced with a hard question. Why not?
I will say, he has done it one more time. So there's a time in Wano where he does Asura again. And that brings up the question, are we going to figure out why he can do that now? Right? Because this seems to be like a recurring theme where people are like, because Kaido even says on, like, about Luffy, he's like, Rubber shouldn't be able to do that. And then Luffy is just the cartoon sun god, right? Queen is like, Sanji, you're a human. You shouldn't be able to do fire. And Sanji's like, shut up.
Yeah, you're a human. You haven't eaten a devil fruit. Why can you fire?
Yeah, and he's like, oh, shit. I mean, that's pretty good question. Yeah, nah, I'm not thinking about it.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I always like, I thought it was weird at first, but then he was like created in a lab, basically.
He is created in a lab is the thing. Him and all of his siblings are like spliced with something.
And they're like super soldiers.
Yeah, and Sanji doesn't know what he's spliced with. We're pretty sure we know now, but like, it hasn't been confirmed or anything, and it's like, well, that would explain that, I guess.
Yeah,
so
the
it's
funny
like,
thing...
What about Zoro?
The funny thing about Sanji is his backstory came out of nowhere.
True.
I'm like, oh, quirky cook that was cast out at sea and learned the value of food, and now he wants to be the best chef. He had a sad backstory, and I'm like, okay, cool. Oh, no, it gets worse.
Oh, no.
Like, his dad is the worst.
Yes.
His treats his wife, his family, his brothers are the worst.
Yes. None of them have any feelings. That's the whole thing. Is they have feelings have been effectively bred and trained out of them, except for Sanji.
Because his dad is a warlord who sells super soldiers to become a superpower.
Mm-hmm. And he also, creepily enough, has themed himself and his family after a comic book.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
In-universe comic book.
And Sanji wasn't about that life, and then his mom died, and then he escaped. So the fucking Germa army arc is crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
And now Sanji has a super suit, and he can become what is it, Soba Mask?
Are you thinking of Sogeking?
No. When he donned like the costume the first time, they were just like, is that the Germa army super soldier? And he's like, nuh-uh, I'm Soba Mask. Or Soba King.
Is it Stealth Black?
Yeah, it was Stealth Black, but he called himself Soba Mask at one point.
So Sogeking is
no, it's Sniper King. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the name. For Usopp, yeah.
I love Usopp, by the way.
Usopp's great.
What is Soba Mask? Soba Mask. Click to see the characters with matching specials. Yeah, he does call himself Soba Mask.
Interesting. Okay. Oh, all right. Yeah.
See, I was like, I'm like, I know I didn't just fucking bring this out of nowhere.
I was like, it seemed to be confusing things, sir. And you went, no, you're just fucking stupid. I said, oh,
yeah,
you're right.
You're right. Idiot.
Wow.
So yeah, no shit. Like, if you haven't seen One Piece, please do yourself a good service and watch One Piece. It's so good.
Yeah, we are officially at time for stopping talking about spoilers. But yes, it is quite good.
It's wacky and wild.
It is wacky and wild. I started reading One Piece in chapter 998. And I've also watched a bunch of One Piece lore videos. That's where my education comes from.
Okay, so my education's different because since I was younger, I wanted to get into One Piece, but I could never. The episodes kept going, and by the time they had like 500 episodes, I was like, well, I'm not gonna watch all that. So I watched 300 episodes of One Piece, the first 300. Maybe 3 times before I gave up. And then I think it was like 2 years ago. I was just like, fuck it. I'm going to watch all of One Piece. So for like a month or 2 straight, I watched from episode 300 to where we are currently now.
Which is commendable because the anime, I think, is over 1,000 episodes at this point.
Yeah,
and it's only up to manga volume 998 right now. So,
yeah,
very crazy, honestly.
The thing is, when you're watching One Piece, I know we're talking about wacky shit that's going on now, but the first 200 episodes are tame compared to what they are now.
Yeah.
And it just progressively keeps getting better as the years go on, as the art gets better. Because like it's hard to go back and watch the first couple of 100 episodes of One Piece right now.
Oh yeah.
Because the art's so like the animation is like kind of stilted and like weird.
Yeah, it's not great. And I'm going to be very honest with you. It's not even that good up until like Wano, which is like 900 and something.
No, I beg to differ.
When do you think it started actually being okay?
I think right when Frankie joins the crew. So
okay.
When Frankie joins the crew after. So, because, like, when Frankie joins the crew, they get the new ship. Spoiler, sorry. They get the new ship, and they've basically just become... No, because they get the new ship, they learn about the world government, and then they go to Thriller Bark. Thriller Bark arc is a really good arc. It's long, but it's a good arc. And then after they get Brook and learn his sad backstory, because all the One Piece characters have sad backstories.
They all have sad backstories,
and they just progressively get sadder. After we get Brook, then we go to, I think, we don't do the Fishman Island. I think the world government arc. Under
Mary Joie,
yeah, Mary Joie, and that's when they save the mermaid and the starfish, and then they meet Kuma, and then shit starts getting crazy, and then we have the skip. Yeah, no, I'd say Frankie's arc is a good where shit starts getting good, because then in that same arc, you know, you get Luffy's gear second and third.
I mean, it makes sense. It does make sense. But like, yeah, the animation that's going on in Wano right now is the best it's ever been. Like, we're at the peak of One Piece animation currently. There hasn't been a time at which like you would look at the art style that's happening right now and be like, you know, actually, I prefer the like the way things looked like 200 episodes ago.
No,
it's just better.
and the change is so, I wouldn't say jarring, but so you go from the whole cake island arc, the Big Mom arc, which looks good. It was like at the time it was like it was a shit, like it was looking good. But immediately when they go into the Wano's hidden area and they're riding the waves and it starts looking like a fucking Japanese feudal era painting,
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, is this is this how it's supposed to look the whole time? Good. Like, it's just it was just badass. It looked so good once they got to Wano. Like the first episode of Wano, you noticed it. Everything looked sharper. Everything moved better. Mm-hmm. It was just all around good. And then characters who you thought were important just started not being important.
Like who?
Like Blackbeard.
Oh, yeah, true. But that's only because this arc has gone on forever.
Like, Blackbeard's not even a threat at this point. What could he do?
Well, the thing is, we don't know. I mean, you know, Luffy's off doing this thing, but who knows what Blackbeard's off and doing?
I forgot all the worst generation pirates. Like the Scarecrow guy. He was nobody until they brought him back, and then he died, right?
No, he's hanging out.
See?
He's hanging out doing his thing.
And then I remember they introduced fucking Scratchman a Pooh, and then he was nothing for the longest time, and now all of a sudden he's a player again.
Yeah, now he's here. He's here doing his thing.
It's just funny, like characters, they're like, oh, these guys are fucking badasses, and then there's like 150 episodes with nothing about them, and then they're just like, oh, by the way, we're still here.
Hey, just want to let you know. Hey, did you forget? So fun fact, Wano has been going on since manga chapter 909, and we are currently on 1044.
Fuck so yeah!
It's the longest arc by a long shot.
Oh, dude, you know what else is a good arc? The prison arc, where Luffy and Bon Clay are in prison.
Yeah.
That's such a good arc.
There's a lot of good arcs. So if you should go watch One Piece if you're not. What? What do you mean?
You said people should just watch from Wano, and there are so many good arcs.
Yeah, but you can just Google it. It's fine. Wano's the best animation style. Just go from there. It's fine.
After Skypiea, everything starts getting good.
That is true. After Skypiea, things actually start to look okay. Boy, though, getting up to Skypiea, oh boy, that's beans.
That's like in the 300s, right, or 200s?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's 189, something like that.
So you watch Skypiea, and then skip the Ring Island arc because no one cares about Ring Island, and then go from there.
Yeah, I go for that, or just go to Wano and Google some stuff. It's fine. Honestly, I jumped in at chapter 998 and I watched maybe 2 hours of One Piece lore videos, and I caught up. I knew it was all good.
But it's so much better watching it.
I guess, but boy, is it long.
Well, yeah, it took me like a month and a half to catch up, but
yeah,
I mean, in my opinion, it's worth it.
Yeah, okay.
Look, I'm single. I live alone. I'm very depressed. I'm not
very
happy.
lonely.
I stay up awake and cry myself to bed every night. But you know what? You know what keeps me from being all of that? Well, not really, but watching One Piece.
It's just One Piece. It's just One Piece.
It's always been One Piece. So, enough spoilery One Piece talk. They just announced a game today. As of March the 28th, they announced the One Piece RPG, which looks fucking good.
Yes. Yep. And it's it looks like it's going to be an open world RPG kind of thing, and it's going to be an original story. So this is it's like Oda wrote the story. Original. Yeah. Well, it depends. Like the One Piece. Oh gosh. The One Piece Warriors game.
Yeah, the Pirate Warriors game.
Yeah, that was just a recap.
They follow just the story and recap. But what's it called? Like all the offshoot games, like the RPGs on the 3DS, the Wii game, the the open world One Piece action adventure. They're all originals. But this one looks good because it looks like Dragon Quest with the One Piece coat of paint on it.
Yeah, the graphics look super, super good. And in fact, it included at the beginning a note from Oda that was like, wow, I was really impressed by how this game looks because it looks like it's a movie.
Yeah. He was like,
which, like, of course he's going to say that. Like, man wants to sell video games. So,
well, not even that, but I'm sure, like, seeing, like, your creation look the best it's probably ever been outside of animation, but on a video game, probably, like, makes you feel a certain way.
To be fair, like, I would want to, if I had my thing that I was writing, like, if I was doing a comic and then there was, like a cartoon off of it, I'd be watching it every week. And being like, wow, look at this. Look how good it is. Even if it was bad.
Wowie zowie, what's going to happen next week? Oh, wait, I already know.
Beans! Oh, wait, I'm going to go write that.
You think if show creators watch their own show on a weekly basis, you think they get ideas like, or like join forums like what that, and no one knows it's them, and they're just like, oh, what's going to happen? You think this is what's happening? You think they get ideas and they're just like, that is a good idea.
Okay, so
write that down.
I would say and for the most part, no. But I know that there's one that's yes. And it's because it's so obvious. Do you know American Horror Story? That's the title I'm thinking of.
Yes, and I'm not a huge fan. I don't hate it, but I'm not a fan.
Yeah, so if you have watched like an American Horror Story all the way through, you will know that it starts off awesome. It starts off with like great concepts and like a good premise, and then about halfway through some weird shit starts happening, and then it's just really goofy and inconsequential by the end. And that's basically what happens in every American Horror Story. And the major like consensus among the fan base is that what happens is the writer, Ryan Murphy, he is writing it only a few episodes ahead of whenever the previous episode has released. So like the idea is that he will do the first half of the show, and then that half starts coming out while they're shooting the rest of the show, and then he'll start changing things based off of fan feedback and what people like and what people don't like.
Shut the hell up! No way.
It's a very common belief.
That's wacky.
And that is why American Horror Story is like as goofy and poorly written as it is because like whatever original plans there were, they're just altered because like, oh, it turns out Twitter is really going crazy for this character. I better make that character more important or whatever. Oh my God. And is that true? Maybe. Is it just that Ryan Murphy doesn't know how to actually write, but he has really good ideas for premises? Yeah, that's probably also true.
Knows how to start a show, but not finish it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, everybody that I know loves to start a project and just does not know how to finish. So makes sense.
Yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I mean, One Piece is great. The game looks fantastic. I'm fucking stoked for it. There's not much else we could talk about right now because there's nothing. The newest chapter came out. We talked about that, and the game's coming out. Mm-hmm. That looks fucking good. Yeah. The only other thing we can talk about is how boring, wink, wink, the Oscars are.
Jesus.
Fucking pivot.
So yeah, I'll put a disclaimer up front. None of the shit matters.
No.
And no one should care. Like, this should be between two grown men in their private lives, but it wasn't. It was aired on national TV, and everybody's fucking embarrassed about it.
Yeah.
And because this is, like, a more topical podcast, we're going to talk about it, and we're going to dive into, like, as many aspects of this as possible, and if you don't agree with our takes, that's fine.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah.
I'm going to present probably every possible take, and I don't really care I don't really care. I just don't.
I don't either. So, like, this is how I found out that Will Smith, the Fresh Prince, slapped Everybody Hates Chris. Last night, I took a shower, and I was laying down to go to bed. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not too sleepy. I'm going to scroll through Tumblr. And boy, howdy, what do you think the first post was?
Yeah, I bet so.
It was a picture of Will Smith slapping Chris Rock and a caption of, like, the Twitter trending, did this really happen? And I was like, what? And that's how I knew the Oscars were happening. And because I didn't know they were happening. Yeah, same.
I didn't know they were happening either.
And then I was like, well, now I can't go to sleep. So I had to find a video. And after I saw it back to back, maybe 5 times, I was like, huh. And then I was reading people's comments on it on Twitter. And of course, people on Twitter are the worst. No offense to people who like follow us on Twitter. Whenever we
but you are the worst.
Yeah. Sorry.
You know it. It's fine.
You know it. We all know it. Everyone has their shitty takes, but Twitter is the most outspoken shitty take machine. And so I was just like, wow, what timeline are we living in? Like, so let's break it down.
Yes. Okay.
We're at the Oscars. Chris Rock cracking jokes.
Yeah, Chris Rock is the host.
He's the host. He's cracking jokes. Cracks a joke at 2 actors. I don't really know who they are. And then he, I guess, turns his head and sees Jada Pinkett Smith, who has shaved all her hair because she has alopecia. And she's slowly losing her hair. And I guess to be like, I'm big and strong and I'm not going to let this bring me down, shaved her head. That's what I've heard anyway. I'm not assuming.
Yeah, I looked it up, and yeah, that's basically the case. And it's not it's a it's wresting power back whenever the power has been taken from you, right? Like,
yeah,
there's a lot of reasons why you would do that, but also, like, shaved head is a good look, so who gives a shit?
So it's kind of like breast cancer people, like they go on their walks and they're like, we're not gonna get down, we're not gonna let this get us down. It's to that extent. They're taking hold of a bad situation. And then Chris Rock is like, these people are both gonna lose unless Jada Pinkett Smith makes that G.I. Jane Part 2 movie a lame joke, let's be honest, but very tame.
Yes, okay. I have to pause on this joke because this is effectively an international celebrity incident of minor consequence, right?
Yes.
And Chris Rock decided to make a joke about G.I. Jane? Like, that's what happened? G.I. Jane is an old movie that it came out in 1997. Like, motherfucker, get a better reference. The movie's over 20 years old. Probably nobody saw it.
Dude, I was going to say, so I know what G.I. Jane is. I know the movie. My dad was a big fan. So I know the movie. But, dude, nobody knows who G.I. Jane is.
25 years old.
He could have been like, unless Jada Pinkett Smith's the new Charles Xavier in the new X-Men movie, maybe. Fucking
yeah, I mean, there are many other references that could have happened here, right? G.I. Jane, IMDb rating of 6.0. It's such an inconsequential nothing thing. And the whole, like, it was culturally relevant at the time because nobody had ever seen a woman that had shaved her head, I guess. And
shaved
that
her
was
head
like a big deal. Yeah, and it was Demi Moore, who's like, really pretty.
Yeah,
that's
I'm gonna prove that these army guys aren't gonna get me down. I'm gonna shave my head, and I'm gonna be one of the guys, and I'm gonna get all muddy.
Yeah, and that's what Viggo Mortensen was in it, and he played Master Chief, John James something. He played Master Chief John James Ergale.
Fucking Viggo Mortensen. So that's what he was just like. Oh well, she shaved her head. G.I. Jane shaved her head. G.I. Jane wasn't
what a
empowering
lame
movie.
connection, but okay, sure, go for it, Chris. Like, either he made it up on the spot, or my man wrote it last night because he forgot he had to host the Oscars and went, "Oh shit, I got to write some stuff down."
Oh, dude, he was just ad-libbing, and he saw Jada Pinkett Smith, and in like a brief, just brain blast, he was just like, "Yeah, she's bald." G.I. Jane, yeah. That's relevant.
Yeah, I got him. I'm gonna get him.
So he says, all the actors in there are pretty old, so I guess they'd get the reference.
Yeah. Sure.
So he says this very tame, lame joke, and then you hear like kind of pity laughs in the crowd. They're like, what, and it cuts to after the joke cuts to Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, and this is where it gets weird. Will Smith smiling, clapping, and laughing, and then Jada Pinkett Smith is like rolling her eyes, like, oh no. And then hypercut back to Chris Rock, and then Will Smith JoJo walking slowly to Chris Rock.
Yes, true. Yes, this is the most Jotaro walking at Dio thing of all time, is Will Smith walking at Chris Rock.
I was gonna draw that meme today if it didn't get busy at work. I was gonna do the JoJo walking meme with Chris Rock and Will Smith. I was gonna draw that.
That would be good.
I still might, but so cue to Will Smith just casually shows no sign of emotion or anything. Slowly starts walking to Chris Rock, and Chris Rock's like, uh-oh, like still smiling and like, oh, Will Smith's gonna come and like fucking razz me or whatever. And that's how it seems, because Chris Rock is looking at Will Smith directly. The only one that can see Will Smith's face, because there's no cameras, and he's smiling, and it seems like nothing's gonna happen. He doesn't he keeps his hands behind his back. Everything's cool. He doesn't even put up a defense or like
my man's guard is down. He's not running.
Yeah,
he's just there.
He's just like, oh man, Will Smith's gonna come fucking give me a noogie, whatever. The fucking jokester. That's what I thought. I was like, he's gonna fucking razz him. And then, as soon as he plants his feet in front of Chris Rock, he like side pivots and hops and slaps Chris Rock in the face, and Chris Rock, my man, fucking eats it. He, like a champ, still smiling, hands behind his back, and was like, whoa. And then Will Smith turns around and walks away. Mm-hmm. And then Chris Rock is like, I just got my shit slapped by fucking Will Smith. And Will Smith is like in his seat in tears. And Chris Rock.
Yeah, in tears. He's pissed.
Yeah,
he's probably madder than he's ever been in his entire life at this point. Is what it looks like.
And not acting as well, just actually mad. And Chris Rock's like, over a GI, like, even he acknowledges that was a shitty joke.
Yeah.
He's like, over a G.I. Jane joke. And then Will Smith's like, keep my wife out of your mouth. Like,
yeah, keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth is what he said twice.
Yeah, twice. To an awkward, silent Grammy crowd. And Chris Tucker's like, that was the best thing on television ever. Or what did he say?
Fucking Chris Tucker wish he was Chris Rock.
Sorry, Chris Rock. I know two famous Chris, and I always mix them up. So Chris Rock is like, that's the best thing that's ever happened on television, and then cut away to whatever. So that's what
happened.
Yeah.
And again, I cannot emphasize enough how Russia is invading Ukraine. This doesn't fucking matter. This is so stupid.
Yeah.
All right, great. Let's talk about it now.
This isn't a big deal for me. I mean, I'll tell you how I feel in a little bit, but to me, this changes nothing. Will Smith is fading, not into obscurity, but into lameness. Chris Rock he's doing his thing. I don't hate them. They're actors. Like, I don't know them personally. It doesn't affect me.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think it could have been handled differently? Yes. Of course it could have. And so I talked about my coworkers, and they were like, I'll get to my coworker's shitty takes, because my coworker always is has bad shit takes. But I'm just like, so what he should have done is, maybe he could have waited until Chris Rock was off the stage, you know, after he announced whatever was the award, gone up to Chris Rock behind the back and been like, yo,
slapped him privately.
Maybe slapped him privately, or even just been like, yeah, I didn't appreciate you making a joke at my wife's expense, no matter how bad the joke was.
Yeah.
That should have been done, but people are like, she has alopecia. She's all like, oh God, how dare he? I'm like, yo, dog. I'm like, I thought she cut her hair because she was like empowering herself, and like joking about the situation is kind of like, is also like empowering. It's just like, we get it.
Well, I'm like, so that's distinctly not true, especially whenever it's made by someone who's not in that community, right? Like,
I always thought like Chris Rock and like Will Smith were cool, so I'm like, oh, they're cool, you know, he made the joke because, you know, they're cool.
Now that's an interesting assumption, because like, yeah, if that was true, yes, great. I think that's fine. But there's a lot of cultural significance here, and there's a lot of nuance and a lot of background that people probably either don't know or aren't taking into consideration here. So, whenever you are a woman in the entertainment industry, it is very rare that you are allowed to age, right?
Yeah, that's true. I've heard that.
And it is also very rare that you are allowed to have a non-desirable physical trait. So, you know, if she had chose to like shave her head because it was like a hairstyle thing, that would have been one thing. But, yeah. And she was very public about, she wasn't, I guess not very public, but she was public about like, I have this thing, that's why I'm shaving my head. Based off of the research that I did, like, you know, it was sort of a thing where she's almost trying to like take the power back here, right?
Yeah,
and that's fine, and that's like a fine thing to do. But that doesn't, number one, that doesn't give anyone the right to comment on her body.
No.
But number two, and more importantly, it's not like she has a choice. Like, there aren't any hairstyles that would work with alopecia. She would have to wear a wig, which is like another thing that she could have done. Sure. But if she was trying to do this, you know, being a woman in the entertainment industry and having this like undesirable trait and being very public about it, and probably having a bunch of people on the internet already making fun of her for it. And then someone who's effectively like this is effectively like a late night show host, like a fucking Jay Leno or Conan O'Brien or Seth Meyers or whoever, Jimmy Fallon. This is effectively one of them, like making a joke to the masses that still watch television. Yeah. Now it's an extremely public thing. And she probably, if I had to bet, you know, she's going to this award show, she's going to the Oscars. You can't, like, Will Smith is nominated for Best Actor. Yeah. She can't not go, right? Yeah. That's like social faux pas if she didn't show up. So she does show up, and she shows up with her hairstyle, and she shows up looking great.
And like, I was saying, let's be clear. She looked great. Like, the dress she was wearing was great. Like, I saw her like head. She shaved it, but it kind of just looked like a fade hairstyle. Looked good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, looks fine.
And let's be real too. Chris Rock, they brought him on because he roasts people. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what he was doing like during the show. Like, he's kind of like jabbing at people at like what people make fun of them on the like outside do. He's just kind of like he ad libs. He's a comedian. He's like from the Eddie Murphy era of comedians. And
totally. And this is also like, this isn't the first time someone has done this, right? The Oscars have historically been a place in which this type of thing happens. Like, not
the host
with
will roast
specific, not all of the hosts. Like Ricky Gervais was a very big one.
Yeah.
But typically, whenever you're like, typically in comedy, the correct, there's no one right way to like do comedy, right? Like you can make anything funny if you want to, but
do it all the time,
especially in like the sort of public venue like this, and in like in a venue like this,
a setting.
You should really be like punching up. And it's hard to do that whenever you're in a room full of celebrities that all have mansions and shit.
Everyone is around you is effectively rich and in your class. Like you're like upper class rich people. There's like no punching down. I mean, there is, but like, how can you differentiate?
Yes. So, the whole thing.
And Will Smith is like top tier Hollywood A-list actor.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Jada Pinkett Smith, I don't think has done anything relevant recently, but everyone knows
super
who she
recently.
is.
She has a Facebook talk show called, I think, Red Table Talk, I believe.
Yeah, she brought Will Smith on there a couple of years ago, and
yeah, we're going to fucking get to that. So the thing is, number one, this like my wife and I were talking about this really should start a conversation about like whether or not it's cool to comment on people's bodies as a joke. But the other thing here is like, whenever you're making fun of someone for like, you know, again, there's a lot of things that have led like Jada Pinkett Smith to be at the Oscars with a shaved head because of alopecia. And I would imagine it's very stressful to be there. I imagine there's a lot of comments.
Yeah.
And I imagine, you know, the show starts. She's like, okay, we're good. The show is starting. And then to have like the person who is like doing the show to point that out. Number one, I want to definitively say that is punching down. Because
fair.
Like that is not a thing that she can control, that she has any amount of like ability to do. Like, you know, Ricky Gervais making fun of a fucking pedophile, right? On like in an award show. Funny, great, criminal, great. Tear him down.
They're the scum of the earth.
Yes. Making fun of somebody with alopecia because they're bald is fucking mean. And that's just a mean thing to do. So like, yeah, that's a shitty thing.
I think like he made the joke. I'm sure he was like, I'm gonna get some jeers and maybe I'm gonna get like some side eyes from Will Smith and Jada. Like they're gonna like her. She rolled her eyes. She's like, I was kind of, you know, I told a bad joke on purpose. That's kind of what I think he did, because that's how it seemed. He was like, I'm telling a bad joke on purpose.
So now we have to get into, like, that's the surface level, right? Now we have to get into deeper context on both parts, right? Here, so there's very little to get into with Chris Rock. He's done a number of like movies, and he's a comedian and whatever. Like, you know, he's known for probably being like the most famous thing, the biggest thing that he's most famous for is he's the one that popularized the mic drop, right?
Yeah. And he was part of the Kings of Comedy. Mm-hmm. And
so, wait, was he?
Yeah, he was part of the Kings of Comedy, wasn't he?
I don't think he was. I think you accidentally racisted and mixed up your black people, Fee.
No, I swear he was. I know there was Cedric the Entertainer. Oh, no, it was D.L. Hughley.
Oh God, Fee.
Oh come on, no, come on. At the time I thought he was because like he was still doing comedy and it was big at the time. He like come on.
Come on.
I didn't mean to. I I didn't mean to inadvertently be racist.
You racisted a little bit.
A little bit, but I genuinely thought he was part of the Kings of Comedy. Genuinely,
So,
I genuinely thought.
Like his career, he was like a very like probably the top stand-up comedian, early 2000s, late 90s.
Yeah.
And since then he's been like an actor in a number of things. He was in the like Jigsaw, the most recent Saw installation.
What?
He's been in a number of things. Yeah. He was like one of the main characters in Jigsaw.
Huh.
What he also did though, and I find this interesting, is he produced a documentary called Good Hair, which was about the cultural significance of hair for black women, which... So there's not like, that's number one, that's a very interesting touch point given the context. Number two, that does mean that he is definitely aware of like how culturally significant this would be to Jada Pinkett Smith to have made this joke in which millions of people around the world are watching and are ready to laugh at her for having a thing that she can't control. So there's your background for Chris Rock. Like, comedian doing his job, probably made a bad judgment call making this joke.
Part of the Adam Sandler crew.
Yeah, part of the Adam Sandler crew.
And he was in SNL.
Make shitty movies.
Yeah. And he was in SNL. And,
yep. So he's got a pedigree. You know?
Yeah, he's been a lot of good things. A lot of bad things, too, but a lot of good things.
Yeah, definitely.
He
was in Grown Ups. You can't be mad at a man who was in Grown Ups.
He was in Madagascar.
He was the zebra. You can't be mad at Zebra.
Yeah, you look at the zebra. Don't be mad. Laugh.
Don't be mad at him. Look at the zebra.
So he comes from like the hood. He talks about like growing up like hard and like life was hard. You know, young black man. And just watch Everyone Hates Chris. Because that's just him recounting his childhood.
Yep, Everyone Hates Chris was very much, and it was 88 episodes that show went on. So,
and Terry Crews,
they're like very popular. People love it.
Yeah, it's a good show. It's a really good show. But you know, that's just going back and telling you the type of person the type of comedian that Chris Rock is. So it's kind of in his wheelhouse to make this joke.
Yeah, he's a comedian that isn't that is definitely on the edgier side. So making fun of someone is definitely not out of the question here, right?
Yeah. It's just like I said, I'm thinking he was making a bad joke on purpose for everyone to be like, ee, ooh, clap, clap, laugh, laugh. And
so now we have this situation in which, and in fact, before I dive into Jada and Will, here's an interesting question that someone raised. Number one, if it was Ricky Gervais, do you think Will Smith would have gone up and slapped him?
That's so funny because I also brought up that question, but I said, if The Rock said it, you'd think he would do it?
Yeah, great question. Do you think?
I don't. I think he'd
I don't think so either.
I think he'd get halfway up there and be like, oh shit, it's The Rock. He's like, he's a lot bigger up close.
Yeah, he's very big. And Chris Rock is very much not.
No, Chris Rock is a scotch taller than fucking Kevin Hart.
Yes.
and Chris Rock is old, and
so is Will Smith.
Well, I mean, Will Smith is old, but like Chris Rock is like, you can see that he's aged. Like his hairline's kind of receding a little bit. He don't look as fresh as he used to. It's just he's older.
He is 57.
Oh boy. I don't think he would have done it to any. I think he knew that he can get away with doing it to Chris Rock. That's kind of why he did it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're probably right.
Ricky Gervais, I think he there's a 50% chance he would have done it. Cuz like Ricky Gervais isn't that all like physically fit maybe. Mhm. So, like I said,
I mean, yeah, I think he probably would have done it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that.
Before you get into that, let's kind of question. Will Smith was laughing before the camera went back to Chris Rock. Like, I hear a lot of people being like, "Oh, well, maybe Jada," and I like to think this too because I think it's funny. Like Jada rolled her eyes and Will Smith, he was laughing. He was like in on the joke. He was like, "Aha, lame, whatever." And then, like, he looks at Jada, and Jada, like, looks at him with, like, an angry look, and, like, you gonna let him talk to me that way? Like, kind of that look. And Will Smith's like, nah. And then fucking does the thing.
So here's the thing. I wouldn't be surprised if it was that. I also wouldn't be surprised if he heard the joke, he laughed at it initially and was like, oh, that's probably going to be a sore spot. And then he looks over at Jada, and Jada is either like seethingly angry or visibly upset and hurt by it.
Yeah.
And then he is like, oh, I realize the scope of what's happened. Like in that moment, he goes, oh God, I realize what's happened now. And the fullness of the truth of the situation makes a demon rise up inside of him, which that he cannot control.
Just a shaking, seething anger.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, that wouldn't surprise me either.
Yeah.
And when we get into the history of Will and Jada, you will know and you will deeply understand in your bones, no one is a bigger Jada Pinkett Smith simp than Will Smith.
Yes.
No one.
Oh my God, yes. And
so
I before what we're gonna talk about here in a second happened, I thought here or there about Jada Pinkett Smith. She was an okay actress. She was okay. She was just Will Smith's wife. She was okay.
She was in Independence Day.
Yeah, she was in Independence Day, and that's a good movie. And
yeah, that's a great movie.
And she was there. She was there. She didn't even try. Yeah. Sorry.
You just did a hook reference?
Yeah, I just did a hook reference.
You didn't even try.
Is there to try? Sorry. I couldn't stop. She wasn't on my scope. She's eh. But then after this happened, and Colby, wish to elaborate?
Mm-hmm. So, back in 2020, like we said, she has a
YouTube
Facebook talk show called Red Table Talk, and it's still going. It may be done now, but
awesome.
One of the episodes she invited Will on, and they talked about their marriage. And so, before this starts, you have to know that they have never been very secretive about it, but they are in effectively an open marriage. And that's fine and great. However, anybody wants to be in a relationship with someone, that's like an agreement two people enter into, and I don't have any opinions about it because I'm not in it, so I don't give a shit. They can do whatever they want to. Two even consenting adults, good.
Even if I despise it and I think it's weird. Hey, I mean that people doing what they want. Me personally, no, I wouldn't. But
sure,
I don't. Whatever, right?
Right, and so it seems that over the years, Jada has had either romantic partners or has like flirted with people or whatever, and that's part of their relationship, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But then this man...
The Fire Nation.
Yeah, then the Fire Nation attacked. Then this man who is his name is August Alsina.
He's a rapper.
I don't know him. He is a rapper. Yes, he's a singer is what the article says. Okay. So she basically said that her and Will had separated for a time. They were thinking about like being separated, and then in that time, the broad strokes is that she entered into a relationship with this boy, and I call him this boy because at the time, he was in his late 20s and she was in her late 40s. So he was 23 at the time.
Yes.
And she would have been 44.
Which, I mean, they're both adults. They're both consenting. It's frowned upon, but it's, and this goes for both genders. If the genders are switched, it's equally as just frowned upon, but it's also, it's just like,
and it's hard. It's hard to accept that as being okay because there are a number of things that alarm bells in that relationship, right? So so she basically said that like, oh yeah, we were in this relationship, and he has been like, oh yeah, I was in a relationship with her, whatever. And excuse me. And then it was so they were in a relationship. It's hard. The hard part about this is that yes, they're two consenting adults. Being 20 years older does give you a lot more experience and a lot more. It's almost in the same position as like imagine you work at Whataburger and you are like having sex with the general manager, right? Like, you're in a relationship with them. They're probably older. They're probably got more experience on you. And they also like have connections in an industry that you like want to be in and you could easily be in. And so that's a part of it, right? Is like, there's a lot of complications that get in there. And that's why a bunch of people that's why people get canceled whenever they like have sex with their fans there's a power imbalance. And for as I would say, for as little an impact as Jada Pinkett Smith has had on my life, that doesn't mean that she's had that sort of impact on other people. She's also done a lot of executive producing, clearly with she executive produced the movie that Will Smith was like won his Academy Award from this year. So she's in the industry, and a person who's 20 years her junior being in a relationship with her, she said that she was healing him. And she said that she was in a lot of pain and she was broken. And in the process of that relationship, I definitely realized that you can't find happiness outside of yourself. Adding, I just wanted to feel good. It had been so long since I felt good, and it was a real joy to just help heal someone, right? And Will,
sitting there,
he's tearing up,
destroyed.
Right? He has got the face of a man that just like he came home from band practice, and you were like, oh. I hate to tell you, but the hamster got loose and is lost in the woods now. Like, that's the face that he had, absolutely destroyed.
It's like you could put a black and white filter over just him sitting there distraught with sad orchestra music,
and it all makes sense.
and it, like present it to like an audience as like the sad movie coming next year. It's he is just beside himself, like listening to this, but just still trying to be like, oh, yeah, just
yeah,
and like that's where the meme, like they made a meme of that. That was a meme. It's still being used. Just a sad Will Smith, just the Fresh Prince of Despair.
Oh, that's very good.
Thank you.
So yeah, there's that baggage, like in which, and there wasn't, from all reports that I'm seeing, Will Smith has never like strayed from their marriage or like been with anyone else.
Yeah, even though they were
Jada that is
doing
this.
Yeah, she has been doing, and that's fair. If Will Smith was okay with that, that's fine again. But then after they separated, he didn't know about that particular relationship, correct?
Yes.
So.
Yes. So she initially denied it, and then she wanted to come clean and say, yes, indeed, it was a relationship. Might be, oop. And Will Smith was just distraught. So
yes,
basically that's, and we can read into this situation a lot, right? Because we're not in the relationship. I have no idea how Will Smith feels. Will Smith and I aren't friends. As depressing as that is, I'll probably never be Will Smith's friend.
We'll never be on a first name basis.
No, I'm never gonna have my phone buzz and I turn it over and it says Big Willie style on it. And I'm like, ooh, Will's calling. It's never gonna happen. And so, like, I can't tell you how this man feels in this relationship, right? Yeah. Open relationships are tricky, and it's hard. Like, it's very easy to imagine a situation in which one person is invested in the relationship way, way, way more than the other.
Yeah.
And the behaviors of these two people, based off of what I'm seeing and what I have seen in relationships with friends that I've seen, that looks like what is happening here. It seems that like Jada is part of this relationship, but is, you know, not the dominant, like it whenever like you have a significant other and they're like, I love you. And you go, I love you more. And they're like, no, you don't.
When Will says
whenever
Jada
says like, I love you, Will, and Will says, I love you more, Jada goes, yeah, probably. That's what it feels like is happening here. And again, no veracity here. Like this is based off of nothing other than like personal experience and seeing this happen to other people, right? And so
what I think is like Will okays the open relationship because he very much wants to keep Jada. Like he's invested, like he's like head over heels for her, and like he like for some reason he loves her, and I keep finding out she's like not the best person around, but I mean, what do I know? This is hearsay. But like he's head over heels for it. Like he loves his family, he loves his son, daughter, he loves his wife. But she's kind of not feeling it the same way.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's again, this is all just Monday night quarterbacking, right? Like this is all or Monday morning quarterbacking, I guess is the actual term. But a lot of this is from the sidelines, the small glimpses of these people's lives that we get. And if they're if that history hadn't been there, it would be very easy to sort of assume what happened at the Oscars was like either a one-off thing or whatever. But I mean, it honestly seems like Will Smith via his family and his, I don't know if he reads the internet. Like he has an Instagram account that he posts to a lot. Yeah. I don't know if he like reads comments or gets feedback on stuff, but
he is a YouTuber.
Yes. But since 2020, right? Yeah. And probably a bit before that, whenever this like Red Table Talk thing comes out, he has been clowned on the internet for being a cuck.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, non-stop.
Yeah.
So it's, in fact, I saw somebody like on my Facebook who made a post. I was talking about Will Smith, and then someone posted just like this meme that was like the definition of the word cuck, and it was Will Smith's face. And it's clear that wasn't made yesterday, right?
Yeah,
like,
no.
It has nothing to do with him slapping Chris Rock. So, I mean, I can imagine, you know, there are many situations in which this is an understandable thing that Will Smith has done, right?
Yes.
He loves his wife. He sees that his wife is upset. He realizes what's going on, and then he gets up to slap Chris Rock.
Yeah.
He is, you know,
Visibly
emotionally
upset. Yeah.
distraught. He's barely holding it together. You know, maybe situations like this make him anxious. Maybe he's like,
this was a very split decision on his part.
yeah, like maybe it's just a split second. He got mad enough that he stood up and then he committed, right?
Yeah.
There are so many things, so many ways in which this is a completely understandable thing for a human to do in order to protect their wife from, I mean, it's not even protect at that point, right? It's just to get vengeance for their wife. This is like, he's Batman, right?
Yeah.
He is Batmaning Chris Rock.
And Chris Rock just said, "That you, vengeance."
Yeah, Chris Rock, "That you, vengeance." Vengeance slapped the shit out of me, huh? That's what he said.
Yeah, that's what he said. I was there. It just that from the outside looking in, and that's the only facts you know about them, and you only know Will Smith and Chris Rock from watching movies, and you don't pay attention to anything else. Like that's an easy decision to be like, well, Chris Rock was in the wrong. My mom thinks that, and she doesn't know anything about like the back story of all of them and stuff. She just knows that. That, and she knows about the alopecia that Jada has, but that's again from the outside looking in and not knowing everything that everyone else knows. That's
and that's it too. Like that's what it boils down to, is that people that have takes on this are often hypocritical about a lot of the things in it. So people that are like, yeah, violence is never the answer. Will Smith should not have done this. Like, this should have been done in a different way. In many other situations are like, man, if that was me, I would have beat the shit out of him. Or, man, you know, talk shit, get hit. Like,
yeah,
things like that, you know, are like, but whenever the reality is in front of them, they're like, oh no, that slap made me feel bad inside. So that was a bad thing.
It didn't make me feel
not re-examining what you feel about it, right?
It didn't make me feel anything, to tell you the truth. To me, I didn't think it was staged. I think Will Smith did it to prove a point to Jada.
Yeah, I think that's almost certainly true. That's my read on the situation as well. Is that basically, you know, because again, the him laughing beforehand is kind of telling. Either his anger was like rising from the second that, you know, the word Jada came out of Chris Rock's mouth, or like as soon as Chris looked over in their direction, he just starts going, oh, he's going to make fun of my wife. Oh, this motherfucker. He better not. And then the second the joke ends, he goes, oh, okay. This man done provoked us.
Yeah, he
gets
like,
up.
That wasn't too bad. I'm not mad. Oh, I'm mad. Just,
oh, I'm actually super mad.
like,
which is, again, fine.
Yeah,
like,
it's cool.
I understand every angle in this, right? Chris Rock is a comedian. He should have been making jokes like that. Sure, I get that. That makes sense that he was hired to make fun of people, and they put Will Smith and Jada Smith in the front fucking row. So obviously he's going to make fun of them, right?
Yeah, he's one of the front runners.
Right. He and Chris Rock should not have been punching down at Jada Pinkett Smith about a condition that she can't control. Yes, absolutely, completely agree with that. Shouldn't have done that. Bad joke. shouldn't be making fun of the way that people look anyway, right? Like that, because that at some point you get to be like, remember when this person was in this movie and now they're fat as shit, right? Like that's whenever you start to open things like that, and it's like, oh, cool. Well, now that's in the cultural zeitgeist. It's like, oh, have you seen Val Kilmer? Val Kilmer's fucking fat now. Like,
oh my god,
neat.
Yeah.
Glad that we're all going to talk about that now. This is like the largest night in movie media of the year, and to make like one of the opening things a joke about like a person's physical condition is shitty. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Will shouldn't have gotten out of his seat and slapped Chris Rock in the face. Yeah, probably not.
No.
Will Smith wouldn't have done this if Chris Rock was a bigger man. Yeah, probably not either. He probably would have thought and been like, ooh,
if it
I'm
was
gonna fucking get him, but it's not going to be right now.
If it was anybody else, that slap wouldn't have happened. Literally anybody else.
You know what? I'm probably... So... I'm behind you, but I don't think it's because Will looked at him and goes, I could take him. I think it's because Will Smith was mad enough that he fucking stood up, and his brain, his stupid lizard brain, was like, oh yeah, you know, I see no problems with this. You are going to be physically fine.
Yeah.
So instead of him being like, should I slap this man? Yes, I should slap this man. He stood up and said, I'm going to slap this man. And his brain didn't go, no, don't do it. That's a bad idea.
I was going to say, same thing. Brain said, you got to slap this man. Or like, he told his brain, I'm going to go slap this man. His brain's like, no, don't do it. And as like, he's walking towards him, he's assessing the situation. He's like, I could do it. It's Chris Rock. This is his frame. This is how high he is. This is our strength difference. I think I'm stronger than him. And as he got to Chris Rock, he was like, okay, I'm doing it. And did it.
See, I don't even think... I think there was zero conscious thought. I think as soon as Will Smith stood up, it was fucking over and decided. He was going to go up, he was going to punch, or he was going to slap this man. And that was going to be it.
Yeah.
I think he wasn't thinking about how tall Chris was or how mad he was. I think he was just thinking, how dare this man hurt my wife in such a public forum? I'm going to hurt him back
physically
in a much worse and much more humiliating way because I can.
What's funny though is, yeah, it would have been more humiliating if Chris Rock had like fallen or did anything else but smile the entire time and take the slap like a champ. It just now begs the question, well, is Chris Rock stronger than Will Smith? That slap had like nothing behind it.
It's fucking like manga power up. What do we not know about Chris? Has Chris been training in the mountains this whole time?
Why does he have this power now?
No shit. Did he eat a different fruit?
was the laugh fruit the fruit he actually ate? Like
exactly. He didn't eat the laugh fruit. He ate the human fruit, mythical model Richard Pryor. Right?
God damn. Dude, but like, see, if like he would have reacted any other way, it would have been humiliating. But he kept his like hands to his side and then behind his back and smiled through the whole thing and took it.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly. So I think at some point he probably knew he was going to get slapped, and then his body was just like, no, don't do it. If you hit him back, you are not the bigger man.
Yeah.
And then he kept himself under control.
Yeah, I think he like realized like, oh shit, what he just did's going to make him look like an asshole. And
yes, exactly. Like I think Chris Rock knew whenever people started tweeting about this, a lot of people were just going to say, yeah, Will Smith shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. And then it would also bring back Will Smith's troubled past. Mm-hmm. Because it had everything to do with his wife. Well, now we all know what him and his wife are going through or what they've been through. So, like, it all, like, full circles.
Yeah, it's like, you know, and there's so much here, right? It was a simple, you know, from start to finish, from the beginning of the joke until Will Smith saying his last "keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth" and Chris Rock like making a joke to awkwardly end it.
Yeah,
was 2 minutes maybe.
It was like less than that. It was like a minute and 40.
Yes, and it's there's just so much context and so much nuance to what happened, and it's like, you know, because I thought about this, right?
Yeah.
My initial reaction when I heard this last night was, oh, why did that happen? And then I looked it up and went, oh, yeah, Will Smith probably shouldn't have slapped him on national TV, but Chris Rock definitely had it coming.
Yeah, that's fair. Like,
and I'm thinking, like, imagine that I'm watching the Oscars with my family and Will Smith slaps Chris Rock, and then my son is like, whoa, what was that about? And I'm like, well, that's fine. He made a joke about the man's wife. He shouldn't have done that. Like, what kind of lesson does like that teach my son? Yeah. Right? Like, you got to think some stuff through about this. And it's as much as I want to say it's as simple as like, you shouldn't hit people.
Yeah.
Like, dog, there's so many things that go into this, and the least of which I think is like you could just tell, like, and especially from Will Smith's like later on. By the way, in case you didn't know,
he won
because the rest of the Oscars were overshadowed. He won Best Actor, and he had a very tearful speech about how he wanted to do a spread love, and he
spread it all over Chris Rock's face.
He apologized to everybody but Chris Rock. And he was allowed to stay in the award ceremony, which is another thing where it's
very
like
weird.
Yeah, oh boy, you just slapped the host of the award ceremony,
and now you gotta
didn't kick him out.
You gotta sit in front of him the whole show, in fucking line of sight the whole time, knowing what you did, and he knowing what you did to him.
Close enough that he could probably spit on you, right? Like, that's gotta be a really awkward vibe, and he's there, right? And he wasn't kicked out, and he wasn't punished for this. And so it's like, does Will Smith get invited to the Oscars next year? I don't know. He's probably going to be in a movie. When do we forget about it? Because we forgot about the fact that Chris Brown basically killed Rihanna, right? And, you know, everybody is like, oh, no, just Chris Brown. Just bring him back to the awards ceremony. Like, nobody gives a shit anymore. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Chris Brown should live in the same very long drain that I pushed Ben Shapiro into.
No, I think Chris Brown. I know Ben Shapiro is a shitty person, and he deserves to like live in a cave, in a drain with Pennywise the clown, just down there being shitty. But I think Chris Brown should be thrown into a volcano.
Like, yeah, that's probably closer to yes. Chris Brown sucks ass.
He should be fed to sharks. Like for charity, have people like pay to get some balls and try to like knock him into a big tub of water.
A live shark tank?
No, a live piranha tank. Just
damn.
And let him try to dance his way out.
But like, you can't have a take about that about Will Smith and Chris Rock. Like
they're too.
If you have a non-nuanced take about this, you're not thinking enough about it.
Yeah.
And you're not having enough empathy for either person, right? Chris Rock is up there doing his job. He was hired to do this. He is known for making edgy jokes. He was hired to be an edgy comedian. Of course he's going to make fun of people. Was it a bad joke? Yeah, absolutely. He made a bad call, but he's up there doing his job, and you expect a level of safety whenever you're like performing. And whenever security for the Oscars did not stop Will Smith from
I was just about to say that the whole time that happened, no one from the Oscars came out. No security, no people, nothing happened. They kept filming. They didn't look away. They let it happen, and they just did nothing.
And I bet you they had a talk very shortly after this happened, and they were like, well, we have to kick Will Smith out. Like, he just slapped someone. We have to arrest him or do something. And they went, we would if he didn't win Best Actor. He has to be here until the end of the show where he wins Best Actor. And then after that, there's only one more thing. Are we going to kick him out with fucking 10 minutes to go? No. We'll just let him stay. We'll deal with it later.
Yeah, jeez. And kudos to, not kudos, but I guess Chris Rock also is not pressing charges. Like, he's, again, taking it like a champ. Like, it's the opposite of, him being humiliated. Because he's being the...
I gotta say, thank God for Diddy. You know what I mean? Diddy really came out and he saved this whole situation. He spoke to Vanity Fair and he said, there's not a problem. It's over. I can confirm that. It's all love. They're brothers. He said that. It's all... Thank you, Diddy. Thank you for reporting the news that we needed to hear.
I'm glad it came from you.
Just, a trustworthy source like Diddy,
just Big P Diddy, the news source of the millennium. And the thing is, didn't he say it's squash? He's like, we're gonna talk about it at Beyonce's party or Beyonce's house.
He said we're gonna, you two are brothers. We'll sort it out, whatever. But then afterward, he was like, nah, it's good. It's good now.
So stupid.
So
it's fucking wild. So I think Will Smith is getting into that weird territory. He was a good actor for a long time. He's still a good actor. He's phenomenal. But personal life, he is weird. And I think it started coming to light when he was in YouTube Rewind. That's where the start of the craziness of people being like, well, Will Smith's a really weird guy.
I think there were a couple of years there where he started making kind of bad movies, and his kids were really hoity-toity and up their own asses about how smart they were.
No, and Jaden fucking Smith is the strangest person ever, and he knows it. He knows he is.
Yeah, he's very embarrassing. He's extremely cringe. But he also grew up extremely publicly. So, I would probably also be super cringe if I had that much money and didn't have to worry about ever succeeding in anything.
Yeah, true.
But I think you're right. Around that time, rumors about him being Scientology adjacent were around.
And you don't want to hear that about Will Smith.
You don't want to hear that about anybody.
No. Well, yeah, anybody, but Will Smith especially, because people like me and you, we grew up with Will Smith. Fresh Prince, Men in Black, Wild Wild West, Independence Day,
Which, by the way, can I say, I love that this article that I'm referencing and looking at stuff for, they do call him the Men in Black actor, which he won Best Actor for fucking King Richard this year. You know that. It was the same award show. Why would you reference Men in Black?
People, you could have just said Will Smith. You didn't even have to reference a movie. Everyone knows who Will Smith is, not just a Men in Black.
Also, Men in Black came out almost 10 years ago.
No, more than that, because it came out in 2001?
Sorry, Men in Black 3, my bad, came out almost 10 years ago.
Men in Black 1 came out 20 years ago.
We're about to find... Yes, it did. Wait a second. Is there a connection here? Hang on. Hang on. There's no fucking way.
What?
It was it the same year? It was. Men in Black came out the same year as G.I. Jane. Oh, no.
There it is. That's how you do it.
Damn.
It's full circle. What do we say? So Will Smith is weird. Just from the YouTube. That's when shit started getting weird. Mm-hmm. It's rewind time.
Couldn't agree more.
Fucking.
If you can go back and watch. Was it YouTube Rewind 2018?
18, yeah, I think so.
I think it was 2018.
Yeah.
Yes, this looks correct. Maybe not. Hang on. I'm looking up YouTube Rewind 2019.
No, because 2019 was the Watch Mojo fucking list.
Yeah, no, you're right. You are right. Yes, thank you. YouTube Rewind 2018. I can't even... Yeah, there he is. There my man is at the beginning. YouTube Rewind 2018, looking over a hill at some stuff.
At the Fortnite
and then he
battle
opens
bus.
his phone. And then the Fortnite battle bus is here, and Ninja's doing his wild thing.
Oh no, not with Marcus. What was it, Marcus Brown, or whatever? Mm-hmm. But the way he says it, with Marcus Brown, fucking. Mm-hmm. So
everybody jumping off the battle bus, baby.
That's what Will Smith wants to see in his rewind. That's what he really wants to see.
Golly.
So that's when Will Smith has a weird is weird and has a weird like family started coming to light like around 20s that time. Mm-hmm. Then you're just like
20. You know the time. Come on.
I was gonna say 2016, but it was 2018. Will Smith just progressively got weirder. But who knows, like, before that, how... Like, I've never heard anyone talk about Will Smith being weird on, like, sets of movies or anything, or even, like, any testimonials come out. Like, he's been very private, but then as soon as he started coming public, being more social, well, now it's a different story.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, he's not... he isn't Ellen DeGeneres, right? Like, there's not a thing that's happening in which, like, people are like, oh, yeah, well, it makes sense that Will Smith would slap the shit out of Chris Rock. Did you know that one time he was on this movie and he, like, took a shit in the director's meatballs? Like, something like that's never happened with Will Smith, because Will Smith is generally a super nice dude.
Yeah.
And this honestly reads as someone who is, like, under an immense amount of stress and was probably at this event scared shitless that his wife was going to have a bad time or that something was going to happen with, like, making fun of his wife. And it did, and my man could not control himself. And I get it. I get it.
Would you go slap Chris Rock if Chris Rock made fun of your wife?
So my wife and I were talking about this, and before I could even answer that question, my wife went, "You better do something if Chris Rock is making fun of me like that." And I went, okay, I guess I know that I'm, I guess I would laugh at the joke and go, well, here I go. And I would stand up and go slap him.
You're like, oh, this is what you wanted. And little did you know that it wasn't Chris Rock that made it. It was The Rock that made the joke.
Yeah, and then he looks down at me and is like, whoa.
You're like, listen.
Whoa, calm down, little man. And I go, you motherfucker.
Just, you're simultaneously angry at The Rock for making the joke, but also angry at your wife for putting you in this situation.
Yeah. Yeah. The Rock's like, whoa, why are you coming up here to powder my face? I've already got makeup on, little man. And I'm like...
So, like, you have to, like, hop up and, like, slap him. And then, like, The Rock...
Yeah. I have to walk up. I have to grab a stool. I just say, you stay right there, you motherfucker.
And then you do it. And then The Rock's like, looks at you, like, for real. And then just just close-fisted, bops you in the face, just breaks your jaw.
And not even hard either. Like, you can tell he's like holding back, and I just pass out instantly.
Every bone in your face is broken.
And my wife is like, good, that's what should have happened.
I'm not satisfied with the defense you did. Just in the hospital for the next week.
Oh, God. While we were recording this, I do want to let you know, as of today, Shirt Punch has a Will Smith slapping Chris Rock shirt that they are selling called Paper Beats Rock.
God damn it. Oh. G can't wait to see. Oh, God. I didn't even think.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's good. That's the Batman.
Very good.
That's the Batman slapping Robin meme.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. We've been talking for 2 hours. We got our laughs out. We did some history. I think we should end it there.
Yeah, listen, we're at 2 hours now, and I think the conclusion that we can come to is that Will Smith's social life is basically like a salmon at the end of its spawn cycle.
It's
just mushy and weird.
He's slowly melting on the inside.
Yeah, he's slowly rotting.
Just fucking. And you could see it in his eyes.
It wouldn't surprise me if there was a thing that was like Will Smith, not rehab, but like intensive therapy, where he's like, I'm having a mental breakdown. Somebody fucking help me.
I thought you were gonna say that Will Smith in hospital, all squishy and dead inside, like a banana. You were gonna say that.
Will Smith taking MMA classes for next Oscars. Wait, what?
Yeah, no. So I think the consensus is from both of us is it should have been handled differently. But also, I mean, what are you gonna do?
But I get it.
Yeah, I get it. What are you gonna do though?
I couldn't get it anymore, dog.
It's one of those things now. It's going to be in the cultural zeitgeist for who knows how long to come. And no one's ever going to bring it up to Will Smith again after this month. It'll probably be in like, crazy things.
It depends on how graceful he is. Because if someone makes one joke at him and then he's like, yeah.
No, dude.
Then that opens up the floodgates to everyone being like, the next award show, next Oscars, I wouldn't be surprised if someone was like, well, we have plexiglass in front of the stage, just in case Will Smith goes on a tirade. And the camera cuts to Will Smith. He's like, very funny.
Dude, what I want is I want Will Smith to be nominated for something next year. And the host is like, all right, and the winner is, he's like, okay, I'm opening the envelope. Will Smith, if you don't win, please don't come up here. just
Man.
It's just one of those things. Like next year, they're definitely gonna dog on him for that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But
I think that's it. Like we've said what we had to say. I mean, it's been a wild couple of days.
It has been. Just in case anyone forgot, there was also not a sitcom, but a short-lived TV series called The Slap. Don't confuse this with that. They are two different things.
They're way different. Way different. So yeah, that was fun. Definitely follow us on Facebook. Go to our YouTube channel, like and subscribe. 5 stars. Slap the like button and slap the subscribe button. You can hear us on Spotify, iTunes, whatever. Anything you listen to.
Yeah. Name a podcast platform. We're there. I guarantee it.
Hell yeah, baby. And, it's, like I said, crazy. Will Smith's just wacky. And I had fun talking about it. So.
Yeah. It's just there's a lot of nuance here, and if anyone has a straight up and down take about it, they are dumb.
Just tell us what you think. Just tell us what you think about it.
Yeah, tell us your dumb takes.
Yeah, because our takes aren't like the end all be all.
No, I'm stupid.
Oh fuck yeah, me too.
Immediately admitting that. Let's diffuse that. If someone's like, you were dumb for this take, yeah, probably.
Yeah. Have you listened to any of our other shows? I'm a dumbass.
Yeah, this is episode 26 at this point? Yeah. I'm stupid.
Dude, we ping pong from topic to topic because we have ADHD. And just come on, dude. We're dumb.
Come on.
Listen. We laugh at the stupidest things. So, what I think they should do is I want them to go gather the Oscars, take them in front of Will Smith's house, knock on the door, insult Jada Pinkett Smith, not for her hair, but for being a terrible person, and go get him.
Go get him!
Get him. You know, if that was me there, I don't think he'd come and slap me.
Will Smith wouldn't have balls. He can't slap old Georgie.
Georgie's untouchable. You know, I once outlifted Hercules. God damn it. Bye.